They steal our grace. These monsters wear a human face. No gavel, no badge, no throne, no crown can stop Lord Chippy from burning them down. Justice ain't fast, justice ain't clean. It's a long, sharp road through the in-between. So raise your fists and light your flames. Chippy's coming and he don't play games.
I don't know what the hell is wrong with people. I mean, other than the obvious answer, maybe it's Satan. Like, in fact, obviously it's Satan. But a man is accused of keeping 4 vulnerable adults captive in his basement and stealing their money. You know what? Forget Lord Chippy. If we could send him directly on that mission to destroy the asteroid, I think we found our man. Look, Bruce Willis has done his work. I think we found our technician. He just stays there. A South Carolina man has been accused of holding 4 vulnerable adults captive in his basement for 10 years, stealing their money, and facing a slew of charges, including false imprisonment. Yeah. Now, Ronnie Ray Birchfield Jr., they always have 4 names, don't they? They're always a junior. Makes you think. 35 was arrested August 1st after Lancaster police responded to a home for a report of an unattended death, according to the police incident report. Now, the death had occurred in July, which is why you're calling in August. What in the Schnell? According to the report, which doesn't list the victim's name or age, but described the victim as a vulnerable adult. Now, an attorney for Birchfield did not immediately respond for a request for comment on Monday. Birchfield was charged with 4 counts of exploitation of vulnerable adult, 4 counts of false imprisonment, 2 counts of abuse of a vulnerable adult, 2 counts of DV and financial charges, online jail records show. Now, he is being held on a $150,000 bond. No, make that a bajillion dollars. I don't want this man getting out ever. Now, police have said during the investigation, detectives learned that Birchfield was alleged to have cared for several people in his basement and used their funds for his own financial gain. He withheld at least 2 bank cards from adults along with the account number of one of the victims. Authorities allege that he used the money to purchase services for himself. Warrants obtained by the Post and Courier newspaper of Charleston alleged that Birchfield abused the adults, denied them food and medical treatment, and cut them off from the outside world. He's alleged to have controlled when they could eat, use the restroom. He had control of their cell phones. Now, one woman passed away in the basement. It was reported that evidence allegedly showed that the woman, who was being held with her husband, had signs of assault on her. Now, the 2 other adults are alleged to have been in a romantic relationship, a throuple with your okie dokie, with Birchfield. One was alleged to have lived in the home since 2015. So expect more about this case as documents come out. This will be one that we're watching, but it's definitely terrifying to think that there are some people in the world who will use vulnerable people for their own ends. Now, these 2 inglorious butt monkeys, we have followed their case and they have been sentenced. And thank goodness for that. Like I said, justice is a journey. And sometimes, figuratively, we would like it to end with Lord Chippy, but these people will never be getting out. I hope you get what you deserve. Mom and Grandpa, who let a newborn cry for 2 days before discarding him in a ditch along a snowy road, like trash, are headed to prison for a long time. All the times. Like, even I want your bones used in the cement to make the prison better, like in improvements. Like, I'm cool with you staying there forever. An Iowa woman and her father are heading to prison for decades after taking the life and discarding her newborn baby along a snowy road. Megan K. Stout, 28, and Rodney Stout, 67, were both sentenced to a half a century behind bars on Monday. Now, Megan had pled guilty to second-degree murder in July, while her father entered a guilty plea on the same charge Monday. Prosecutor Douglas Eccles said that the baby boy was just discarded in a ditch like trash by the Stodes. He also noted that family members had tried to help the expectant mother, but that fell on deaf ears. The saddest part about this is Megan knew the options that were available to her, Eccles told the court. She knew about safe haven laws, but she didn't take advantage of it, and that's what makes this case senseless. Now, Megan Staud's attorney claimed that her client became lost after 2018 and the death of her mother, and she didn't have anyone to turn to for help. While her attorney said she accepted responsibility, Staude, in her statement to the judge, heaped blame on her father, saying he's the one who took the life of the baby and discarded him, and she just went along with it. You know, that didn't work in Nuremberg, and it didn't work for you, sweetheart. Now, Eccles read aloud a victim impact statement from the boy's father. I hope you get what you deserve, the statement said. I am totally and emotionally broken for what you did to our son who was a baby. Who does that to an innocent child? Who does that to a baby? Now, both of the Staudes must serve at least 70% or 35 years of their sentence until they're eligible for parole. How are these two jackals eligible for parole? How in the hell does this justice system work? No, we can't trust you. You were 67 when you discarded a baby and you were 29. I don't trust you when you're older. No. Now, the investigation that started this whole case began on March 8th, 2023, when Norwalk Police Department received a call from someone concerned about the safety of a child. Now, the next day, police discovered the newborn along a snowy road on the 5000 block of Delaware Street in Warren County. Now, investigators determined that Megan had given birth in late February 2023 and then left the baby in a box, ignoring his cries for 2 days. They allegedly then just discarded the baby on the side of the road while he was still living. Y'all, tiny baby Jesus, this is not a prayer I should be uttering, but if possible, could you see fit to send down Gen Pop Justice, allegedly in Minecraft, just saying for a friend, asking for a mo? I'm not saying, sometimes the Lord works in mysterious Gen Pop justice kind of ways, allegedly in Minecraft, not advocating it, just, sometimes these things happen. Now, a local CBS affiliate, KCCI, reported that even Megan's co-workers were not shocked. In fact, they were the ones that had raised concerns that day. They noted that she was no longer pregnant and were suspicious. Now, at least one neighbor was shocked but not surprised. Honestly, I was pretty appalled but not really surprised, just because of the vibe they gave, said a neighbor. They were kind of weird. Now, the report noted that the residence where Megan had given birth was considered unsafe to occupy. Investigators say that Rodney helped his daughter abandon the baby rather than bringing the baby to a safe haven, a fire station, anywhere. You can bring a baby in, they will ask you no questions, they will just make sure that baby is okay. In a previous phone interview with Law and Crime, Norwalk Police Chief Greg Staples said it was a difficult and emotional investigation. And I'd just like to pause here to say thank you for the investigators who gave this little boy the dignity that his own mother and grandfather didn't. And the fact that you carry this burden and his mom and grandpa don't is ridiculous. I know not all, hashtag there are bad cops. I get that. Look, there are douchebags everywhere, which is why I firmly hope that if the rapture is oncoming, it's an a-hole rapture, because I like the blowing up the asteroid thing. I think it would just help things around here. That being said, if you're the type of person that does pray, does keep people in your heart, puts good vibes out into the universe, we definitely need, these officers, these people that look up child grossness, that have to catch these monsters in human form. They carry all of that home and with them. And I couldn't imagine, So again, if you know someone that is struggling with an unplanned pregnancy, look up your locality, see if there are safe haven laws, let them know about it. Hopefully, we don't have to do another case like this. But bon voyage, douchebags, drop the soap. Now, this is just here because you're stupid. How many times have I told you if you're gonna crime, we do not boast about our crimes. We do not show and tell our crimes. We do not write about our crimes. We do not, film our crimes. Pieces of body in different location. A man was busted for murder after showing off the decomposing remains to a buddy. Yeah, crime is stupid. South Carolina authorities have arrested a suspect in a case of a missing man whose remains were found last month. Now, John Lucas Dale Rice, 21, stands accused of murder in the death of Kevin Brookshire, who was 45 when he went missing in 2021. Now, Brookshire was last seen on December 15th, 2021 in Chesney, which is not far from Palmetto State, or the Palmetto State's border with North Carolina. He was supposedly drove his 2001 red Chevrolet S10 pickup with expired Tennessee license plates to Sevier County, Tennessee, some 160 miles northwest, but he never made it. Now, the pickup was involved in a traffic crash roughly 5 months after Brookshire's disappearance, but police do not believe that Brookshire was actually the driver in the truck at that time. Now, authorities failed to find any leads in the case until August. According to Greenville Fox affiliate WHNS, the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office contacted their counterparts in Cherokee County after receiving a tip about someone who claimed that Rice had shown them a decomposing body in a trash can at his home in Chesney. Now, investigators started talking to different witnesses and found out there were 3 different pieces of body, Mr. Brookshire's body, that had been found in different locations. Barry Barnett, 7th Circuit solicitor, told a judge during a probable cause hearing attended by WHNS. Now, cops went to the home and recovered the remains in August. Using x-rays and medical records, the coroner was able to identify the remains as Brookshire. Now, detectives spoke with Rice, who allegedly admitted to taking the life of Brookshire. Now, police have not divulged the cause of death, nor had they revealed any potential motive for the murder. Now, he was arrested on Friday and is being held without bond. So this is a case that is coming up. It looks like this is going to be a long one, a fairly long one. But, for the family of Mr. Brookshire, this is probably not the answer you want, and I hope you are getting support to deal with this fresh wave of grief and reality that you are having to live with.